When I was a young baseball fan, I was always obsessed with baseball cards and the nicknames. And the first time I saw this guy play, especially in his all red of the Baltimore Orioles uniform and later with the Cleveland Indians, I would figure this guy enjoying a couple of pops after the game. So today we're talking about that tall drink of water and a very nice gentleman besides, Boog Powell. Now, John Wesley Boog Powell, born August 1741 in Lakeland, Florida, played Major League Baseball as a first baseman and left fielder from 61 through 77, most prominently as a member of the Baltimore Orioles dynasty that won 4 American League pennants and 2 World Series titles between 66 and 71. The four-time All-Star led the AL in 64 with a 606 slugging percentage and won the American League Most Valuable Player Award in 1970. He also played for the Indians and the Dodgers. In 79, he was inducted in the Baltimore Orioles Hall of Fame. Now, in a 17-season career, Powell posted a 266 batting average with 339 home runs, 1,187 RBIs, a 462 slugging percentage, and a 361 on-base percentage in 2,042 games. He hit 3 home runs in a game 3 times and was third only behind Eddie Murray and Cal Ripken Jr. on the all-time home run list for the Orioles. In 83, Powell received 5 votes for the Hall of Fame in his only appearance on the ballot. Now, he should look his career again because what he did as a true team player was quite strong. Now, Powell currently owns Boog's Barbecue, which sells barbecue sandwiches, pit beef, and ribs in 2 locations. On Utah Street, at Oriole Park and Camden Yards, and at Ed Smith Stadium, Sarasota, Florida, during spring training. Now, again, born in Lakeland, he played for the city's team in the 54 Little League World Series. After his family moved to Key West when he was 15, he played at Key West High School and graduated in 59. He received the nickname Boog from his father. As Powell explained, in the South they called little kids were often getting into mischief buggers, pronounced boogers, and my dad shortened it to Boog. I think better than Booger Powell because there would be a rip-off with that Revenge of the Nerds movie of the early 80s. Now, when he signed with the Orioles, Jim Russo, the scout who signed him, was also the scout who assigned John Palmer and Dave McNally. Hopefully he got a bonus in his pay packet that year. Powell joined the Orioles after leading the IL in home runs at Rochester in 61. He spent his first 3 seasons in Baltimore as a slow-footed left fielder before switching to first base in 65. At the plate, he was an immediate success, hitting 25 home runs in 63. In 64, he led the AL in slugging percentage, 606, while hitting a career-high 39 home runs, despite missing several weeks because of a broken wrist. He slumped to 248 with 17 homers in 65, then won the American League Comeback Player of the Year honors in 66 with a 287 average, 44 homers, and 109 RBIs, while being hampered by a broken finger. Now in 66, Powell, along with Frank Robinson and Brooke Robinson, led the Orioles to the World Series, where he surprised the baseball world by decimating the Dodgers in 4 straight to become baseball's world champions. Now, before the 68 season, he lamented just once, I'd like to go through a whole season without an injury, and he did just that, playing over 150 games each of the next 3 seasons. In 69, the kid hit a career-high 304 with 37 homers and 120 runs batted in, and in 70, he was the AL MVP, hitting 35 homers with 114 runs batted in, and narrowly missing a 300 average during the last week of the season. In the 1970 World Series, he homered in the first 2 games as the Orioles defeated the Reds in 5 contests. Now, prior to the 71 season, he appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated for the 71 baseball preview issue. Powell helped Baltimore reach a 3rd straight World Series that year, blasting a pair of home runs in Game 2 of the LCS against the up-and-coming Athletics, but he hit only 111 in the series as Baltimore lost to the Pirates in a tough 7 games. Now, Powell had been an American League All-Star for 4 straight years between 68 and 71. However, Oriole manager Earl Weaver believed in making liberal use of the platoon system. In 73 and 74, he fell victim to it, limiting his at-bats. He and Don Hood were traded to the Indians for Dave Duncan and minor league outfielder Alvin McGrew on February 25th, 75. This is where I saw most of his games. Actually, most of the games I saw were in French on the CBC French channel on the Saturday afternoon game of the week, dub. Now, Powell, again a regular with the Indians, batted .297 with 129 hits and 27 home runs, his best season since 1970, and a 9.97 fielding percentage. However, he hit only 9 home runs in 76. He was waived by the Indians during spring training on March 30th, 77. His final season was 77 as a pinch hitter for the Dodgers. He hit 244 with no home runs and 5 RBIs, but was released on August 31st, 77, just a month before the World Series. Now, in the 70s and 80s, Powell appeared in more than 10 different television commercials for Miller Lite, including a memorable one with umpire Jim Honachek. Playing on the theme of mocking umpires who make bad calls, the ad featured Honachek trying unsuccessfully to read the label on a beer bottle as Powell did the voiceover. Borrowing Powell's glasses to bring the label into focus, and suddenly able to see who was standing next to him at the bar and providing narration, Honachek exclaims, "Hey, you're Boog Powell." He's also mentioned in an episode of Cheers entitled Sam at 11. The fictional star of Cheers, that's Red Sox reliever Sam Malone, relates his greatest moment in the major leagues, retiring Boog Powell in both games of a doubleheader. Powell is also mentioned in an episode of Bill Burr's Netflix original show F is for Family. While searching for his wife after having an argument, Frank Murphy drives past a batting cage and hears the crack of the bat hitting a pitch. He then quips to his daughter, Maureen, "That's either your mother or Boog Powell," because, he had a certain noise when he hit the ball. Now, Powell was often referenced in episodes of Mystery Science Theater 3000. Example, when a giant hand bursts through a window, Servo exclaims, "Hey, it's Boog Powell." Current MLB announcer Joe Siami is nicknamed after him. Now, the rough stats, well, like I said, we talked about Dave Kingman, and let's get on that ball again. Does Boog Powell deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Well, what really hurt him was the injuries in the key through the years. But 39.1 WAR, 1,776 hits, 339 home runs, 266 batting average, 1,187 RBIs with nearly 900 runs, and ironically stole 20 stolen bases. Now, multiple over 100 RBIs. Now, from 1963, to 1975, injuries included, RBIs 53, 82, 99, 72, 109, 55, 85, 121, 114, 92, 81, 54, 45, 86, and 33. Now, 167 game average, 62 game average, 27 homers, 94 RBIs, with again a 266 average. And ironically, he stole 7 stolen bases in 1968. I'd like to see that. And he went 4-0 in 1972. But with Baltimore, again, 303 home runs. And Cleveland, he had 36. But like I said, with LA, it was kind of, a last gasp, last cup of coffee. So 4-time All-Star, 68 71 inclusive. 2-time World Series champion, 66 and 70. And of course, lost in 69-71. AL MVP in 1970. And of course, the Baltimore Orioles Hall of Fame. But I don't think the media ever took him seriously. I took him seriously for sure. Because every time he was at the plate, he did something. Like, I think why Matt Stairs has been so popular, our New Brunswick superstar pinch hitter. A lot of Boog Powell into Matt Stairs. And Vogelback with Toronto, lately of the Mets, Greg Luzinski owes a lot to that Boog Powell style. He wasn't like the most in shape player, but like I said, he seemed to be always doing something. They say he was 6'4", 230 in his prime, maybe certain times 240 or 250. He really seemed to enjoy what he was doing. That's what I'm saying. But the OPS career of 822, it's pretty impressive. But for me, Boog Powell deserves. I don't know where do you put him in the Hall of Fame, because I mean, if you won 2 World Series, MVP, 4-time All-Star, Baltimore Orioles legend, maybe the fourth most important Baltimore Oriole of the modern era, where do you put him? Like, him and Eddie Murphy are just as important to Orioles Nation. Like I said, some days is Murray, sometimes is Powell of that era. But I mean, he really helped to rebuild the Indians as well. And like I said, I still see him in bright colors at the plate. And like I said, I really think he's one of the most underrated players of all time, in my personal opinion. And it It is what it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're doing here, we're a Baltimore Orioles tribute podcast. Let us know what a like, comment, subscribe, or share. If you have a memory of Boog Powell over those Orioles teams of that era, I hate Earl Weaver more than I hate Blaine Higgs, the Premier of New Brunswick, the way he's fucked us over. But at least with Earl Weaver, he didn't do anything directly to hurt me. He just was an asshole, and I think he ran Boog Powell out of town. If somebody wants to back that up, because I remember an article, I think it was Sport Magazine, when he was with Cleveland. He asked him, he said, Earl Weaver run you out of town? He said, no comment. So you got to figure it. Platoon system, put Boog Powell in a platoon. Come on. He was your typical first baseman, 25 home runs, 90 RBIs. Play him every day in 150 games. That's it. That's all. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we like to say on the North Shore of New Brunswick, swing for the fences. Have a good one. Bye.